I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Listen, I want to ask you to join perhaps one of the world's greatest investors, stock market investors that America has ever seen, in the person of Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett has withdrawn his funds from the Mellon Bank and has started a boycott of the Mellon Bank because of their foreclosure procedures against our church. I believe that. And let me tell you why I believe it. Let me tell you why I believe that Warren Buffett has withdrawn $38 billion from the Mellon Bank and would encourage others to withdraw their funds. Why I believe it is because in August of year 2022, I took members of the ATLAH World Missionary Church and some of the school students down to 240 Greenwich Street. We'd arrive there at 8 o'clock in the morning, would stay there until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and an all-day protest, or really a appeal to Red Robin Vance to not foreclose our church, our school. I tried to show them we had a homeless shelter. I tried to show Robin Vance we had a school, a beautiful school, children. So for one solid week, we stood out in front of 240 Greenwich Street and asked Robin Vance not to crush our ministry here in Harlem. Not one person came out the door to ask us what be the matter and how can I help. Not one person. Also, during that same period of August of 2022, I had learned that Warren Buffett was the largest investor with over $38 billion in investments into the Mellon Bank. But also Warren Buffett once a year would have lunch at the steakhouse here in New York called Smith and Wollensky. And at that steakhouse at Smith and Wollensky, one could pay Warren Buffett $2 million, and $2 million would get you a 1-hour steak house meal at the Smith and Wollensky restaurant. So I went to the Smith and Wollensky restaurant 12 nights straight, 12 nights over a period of 4 weekends. And I said to the owner of the Smith and Wollensky restaurant, Warren Buffett comes to your steakhouse once a year. He's paid $2 million for 1 hour with anybody who wants to sit and have lunch with Warren Buffett. I'm asking you to contact Warren Buffett. That's the manager there. I said, if you'll contact Warren Buffett and tell Warren Buffett that the Mellon Bank, where he's got $38 billion, is crushing a church in Harlem for a $3 million, if you will, water and sewer tax lien that started out at $36,000. I said, Mr. Manager, would you please contact Warren Buffett and tell Warren Buffett what the Mellon Bank is doing? Well, lo and behold, I believe that he did. I talked to the young man there. I believe he contacted Warren Buffett. And after that, we heard that Warren Buffett withdrew $38 billion out of the Mellon Bank. Now, the Mellon Bank, Robin Vance, I don't know whether he's Czechoslovakian or whether he's Polish or whether he's Eastern Europe, whether he's Russian, whether he's a Kazakhstan, a Kazakh, or what he is, but he has become very angry with me, and he's let his anger and his manhood idiocy get the best of him. Rather than cutting his losses, rather than Robin Vance cutting his losses and turning this church loose, he has doubled down on attacking us. Now, he's already lost his major investor. He lost over $38 billion in Warren Buffett alone. Other investors have walked away from the Mellon Bank because of what they're doing to a church. I mean, for crying out loud, we're not a business. We're not an organization that makes money. We're a church, a homeless shelter, a school. Yet Robin Vance has lost his sense of decency, and because I was successful at getting, I believe out that 5-day protest and that protest in front of Smith and Wollensky restaurant, I was successful at getting Warren Buffett to withdraw $38 billion And the same year that Warren Buffett withdrew $38 billion, I'll show you the article written by a prolific, if you will, investor writer. Will the Mellon Bank collapse now that Warren Buffett has taken his money out, and now that Pastor Manning has protested and made it known to the investment world that this mega bank is attacking a church in Harlem, and people are leaving the Mellon Bank because of my protest being uber successful. You would ask, well, why didn't Warren Buffett just give you the money to pay the bank? Warren Buffett is the wisest investor that America knows, and that's a wise decision. Why should we pay Mellon Bank when we don't owe them? Why should we give them money that we don't owe? And a bank that has over $400 billion in assets, why do they want a measly little $3 million from a church in Harlem? So Warren Buffett was wise not to give us the money to pay, but to show and teach Red Robin Vince a lesson, to teach that red boy a lesson. I'm taking my money out. Now, they're losing money hand over fist. They're hemorrhaging money like a Vietnam soldier shot down in Vietnam, in the grass fields of Vietnam, because Warren Buffett. So I'm asking you to join the boycott. If you know anybody that's a member that has money in the bank of the Mellon Bank, withdraw that. But that's not a community bank. It's an investment bank is what it does. But I'm also asking you to look at the ignorance of leadership. There's a time when you need to learn how to cut your losses. Red Robin Vance has cost the Mellon Bank $100 billion. I don't know how the board of directors is going to let him stay there much longer. Red Robin Vance fooling around, trying to crush a church for a measly $3 million in Harlem, has lost over $100 billion. I don't know if the board of directors is going to keep him around. I expect that this annual meeting, that Robin Vance is going to have to go, because he let me get his goat. He let me get his goat. By that I mean he let me get under his skin, and now he's acting irrationally, he's acting foolishly, he's acting vindictively, he's acting revengefully. He's still, rather than saying, just let the church go, get rid of it, and let's try to get on with our life here at the bank, he's still fighting. And then his lawyers, he's got a lawyer that's dumber than a bag of hammers called ATLAH, sound like I'll get her, who it doesn't have any sense either. I don't know who his lawyers are advising him. One lawyer, Jonathan Greenblatt, wrote us a letter and lied through his literature that they had nothing to do with it. But rather than cutting his losses and running, and just forget it, and let the church go. He's still trying to crush us, and we're still fighting him. But I believe that come the end of the board meetings, they're going to get rid of Robin Vance, and whoever comes in next is going to tell that boy Arketta, that boy that's dumber than a bag of hammers, they're going to tell him, listen, drop this suit against that church. You can't beat Manning. Manning is whooping your behind. You done lost $38 billion fooling around with a preacher up there in Harlem. And somebody ought to tell that boy Arketta, y'all going to look awfully stupid. You're going to look awfully stupid in district court when you get beat by a preacher who's not even a lawyer, but has the skills to tear you from limb to limb inside of a, if you will, courtroom when it comes to the ability to reason and understand and speak the truth. You're going to look awfully stupid, and CNN is going to pick it up. CNN going to pick it up. Wall Street Journal going to pick it up. They're going to, Washington Post, they're going to listen that a preacher out of Harlem, once a member of the chain gang in Florida, a pastor for 40 years, stands inside of a courtroom and brings the truth, the facts, and the law, the merits of the case, and whoops your behind, Arketta. Listen, you're going to look awfully stupid when it goes on CNN. And when they see me on CNN with Wolf Blitzer across the table talking about how I whooped you and how Warren Buffett withdrew $38 billion and y'all didn't have enough sense to wrap it up. You didn't have enough sense to get out of it. And you let that preacher whoop your living daylights out of you. You're going to look awfully stupid. But I want to ask the rest of you, perhaps you would join with me in the boycott. Join with Warren Buffett in the boycott of the Mellon Bank until there's no more Mellon Bank left. And by the way, this bank does not have clean hands. This is a toilet bank. It ain't the Mellon Bank. It's a toilet bank. All the dirty, stinking deeds they've done over the years on poor people, foreclosure, taking their home. This is a toilet bank where there ain't no toilet paper. It's just plain toilet bank, the Mellon Bank. At any rate, I'm James David Manning. Will you join with Warren Buffett and James Manning and the ATLAH Church in the boycott of the Mellon Bank?